So my favorite part of the Camden Catholic retreats is getting to know the people like around me, because I've never been like that close to my classmates and whatnot. But when you go on a retreat and you just hear the stories and you just talk to people, you really feel like you get to know them and you just become like a family basically.
During your time at Camden Catholic, you will attend 4 retreats specific to each class.
So one of my favorite retreats here in these past few years at Camden Catholic was actually the freshman retreat. And the purpose of the freshman retreat was to build a Christian community.
Favorite is definitely the sophomore retreat. And that's a retreat that we learned about our own top strengths, different strengths that God gave us, and how to build up the body of Christ through service. And we also got to work with 6th graders. This was the first time that I ever worked with a group that actually had to look up to me. And going through high school, always looking up to the seniors and juniors, it really made me feel more of a role model and more grown up, I would have to say.
Junior retreat is my favorite. It taught us about sacramental awareness and how God is there for us even when we don't notice. It helped me to find God in a really tough situation that I was going through that year.
The senior retreat is based on looking back on the past, discussing where we are in the present, and who we want to be in the future with an emphasis on vocations. My favorite part of the retreat was writing gratitude letters to my parents because it gave me the chance to tell them how much I love them, which would have been kind of awkward without this opportunity, and I probably never would have done that on my own.
Whether you take home a life-changing experience or just a few new friends, no one walks away empty-handed from a retreat at Camden Catholic.
The top part about that entire day was at the end when our groups were presenting, one of my 6th graders, Jack, gave our presentation, we hugged, we chanted, and afterwards he cried and hugged me. And I was kind of astonished as to why, like I didn't understand what was going on. It wasn't until later that I found out that he got picked on a lot at school, and through the retreat he gained a lot of confidence and love for himself. And I was just astonished, like this had to be my favorite retreat because I never knew I could touch someone and change a life in just a few hours.
These are people that grew up differently than I did, different families, different situations, and the retreats really brought us together in the sense that we learned who our classmates were, and we learned how we should act as towards one another. And actually, on my freshman retreat, I actually made friends that now that we're still friends and we hang out all the time and we just love being around each other. But again, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Camden Catholic.
My favorite thing about the retreats are hearing everyone's stories and how I could relate to them better. Before the retreats, I didn't think I would ever be friends with the people I am today. It was really a life-changing experience.
My favorite thing about the senior retreat is that I was able to be more open with myself and more open with my classmates. What I've been telling all my classmates is that I went into that retreat with 4 or 5 friends from school, and I left that retreat better with myself, and I left there with 35 best friends.
After our senior retreat last weekend, when I walked out of the building and onto the field hockey field on Monday night, everything looked different. Nature seemed so much more beautiful and precious than it had before. Even people's eyes had a sparkle to them that I'd never noticed. Since the retreat, I've noticed all of the amazing things that life has to offer, and the bad things that normally would have affected me haven't affected me at all. This retreat has really changed me and has made me appreciate the gift of life from God.
The retreats here have shown me that God is there for you no matter what, and that praying actually does help, and that if you do actually pray and just reflect and just are truly sorry and just truly thankful for what happens in your life, then you will be happy in what you do.